uselessskills here. You guys are in for a treat. Okay. So, Trap. Boy, oh boy. The story, plot, and premise, initially, I will say from the trailers up until the first 15 minutes of this movie, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes of the movie, most of the runtime of the movie is good. And then they leave the stadium. Jesus Christ. You know what? I'll save my stuff for the spoiler section, just not to spoil it for everyone, in case you actually want to see this movie. But just know like an M Night Shyamalan twist, there is none in this movie. You've seen it in the trailer, basically. In a way. So yeah, sound design and score is actually amazing. I want to give this one 2 stars because that's I felt like I was in a concert. Matter of fact, the biggest I would say the biggest gripe or the biggest fault that people have with this movie, that I have with this movie, is literally just that he wanted his daughter to have a concert movie and he found a way to make it about a serial killer. Like he found a way to plot twist his daughter's concert. You know what I mean? M Night Shyamalan, because goddamn, the music is great. She's an actual artist, and these are her actual songs. They're all great. I really enjoyed it. I felt like I was at a Taylor Swift concert. To be honest, it's great. Cinematography. I enjoyed the cinematography, actually. Most of it in one location, and they shot the stuff pretty well, you know what I mean, for what it was. After they left the location, could have done more, but we're not focusing on that. Acting. Really, really funny. So, the whole time, right, Josh Garnett's character's acting just hilariously bad. Like, NPC levels bad. But I feel like that's part of the character, like part of what's happening. Because Josh Garnett is a great actor. So I'm just like, I feel like that's, you know what I mean? And then after where he has to drop the mask, that's when he's like, okay, well, now I can go full whatever. And still, it was kind of hokey, especially at the end. But I don't know. I still enjoyed it. Not so much the daughter's acting. M Night Shyamalan's daughter's acting is just not that great. The daughter of the serial killer, you know, that the little white girl, I don't know her name, but she was really good and not that bad. But yeah, after again the second half of this movie, bad acting happens. So I'm gonna have to ding it. I'm gonna give it half a point. Directing, I don't even know what to say here. M Night Shyamalan tricked us, you know what I mean? I feel tricked, but in a good way, because it's still, I still feel like it's an enjoyable film. Just, you know, there are aspects of it that are just not a film, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna give half a point for directing. All right, so half for story, sound design, score. I gave 2. Well, I'm not gonna actually give 2, but so 1.5. Cinematography, I gave it a half, right? So 2.5 and 3. So 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5 for this movie. Not bad. I enjoyed it. It's definitely a streaming movie. So if you went to the theater, I'm sorry for you, like I'm sorry for me. Even though the aspect of the concert does play better in theater. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to talk spoilers. So if you don't want spoilers for this movie, you can cut it right here. Everybody else, welcome to the spoiler section. So, yeah, after they leave the concert, I was kind of pissed. The way that he got away with getting into the concert, like nobody would let this man, who they're looking for a man, specifically his age, his, you know, ethnicity, his height, all this shit. They know who they're looking for the most part. And we find out later it's because the wife gave him a tip or something. I don't know, whatever. And they're like, yeah, let's leave this guy alone who we didn't vet with a famous fucking artist. Not happening. Anyway, he just reveals that he's a serial killer. And he's like, hey, get me out of here or I'll kill this guy. And just relying on the goodness of this character's heart, who we don't know, by the way. She's singing the entire, you know, beginning of this movie, but we don't actually know her. But she's apparently such a good person that she's like, oh, yeah, I don't want you to kill this random guy that I don't know. Even though you could kill me, come with me. And then she goes and tricks, or not tricks, basically, yeah, I guess tricks her way to go into the killer's house, tells her fans to find the guy. Just a lot of fantastical things happen toward the end half of the movie that it was just like, okay, we got to wrap up the serial killer stuff. We got to wrap up this other stuff. We got to wrap up this, because the real reason that I made this movie is for the concert at the beginning part of the movie. And again, the whole movie could have even stayed at the concert, because ultimately could have literally just stayed at the concert. They could have just stayed at the concert, and he could have been running around the rafters, the ceiling. He could have done the thing that he wanted to do and go under, like all these things he could have done to get out. And then, text his daughter later, hey, I'll pick you up, or whatever, or your mom's going to pick you up, or I had an emergency, or whatever, some bullshit, just to get out of the situation out of full desperation, instead of what actually happened, which is unbelievable. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Then every escape. So after he escaped after he escapes the great trap at this concert event, he then escapes his home, because he built a hole from his home to his neighbor's home or something like that, all while the SWAT are going in there. Then he dressed up as a SWAT to take the girl, even though the driver is the driver of that limousine. Why would he give up his limousine to the SWAT? That don't make no sense. Whatever. Then he escapes the limousine without anybody looking, and then somehow, builds the SWAT suit and leaves it there so it looks like he's still there. And he gets out or whatever. Then they go to his house, because he went back to kill his wife, because he finally figured out it was his wife, which, by the way, he ate the pie. That was stupid. But whatever. Somehow he's still alive. She fucking dosed that shit with drugs, but somehow he's still alive, awake, attacking her. Then he gets tased to God hell, and then still has enough gusto to lean over to a bike that he's picking up and fixing or whatever, and they let him do, so he can take a bike spoke and then escape out of the van, or he's going to escape out of the van, because he does this stupid laugh and smile or whatever. And it became so hilariously bad towards the end that I was just like, this is still entertaining, because it's bad. It's really bad, but it's also funny. And I would still recommend it because of that, but it's just so bad. So bad. It didn't have to be. And then also, to me, I was expecting some kind of tie-in to the rest, because at some point one of the trailers said the next addition to the M Night Shyamalan universe, and I thought that meant that this evil character would go up against, like a Bruce Willis type. So at some point I thought Bruce Willis was going to show up, even though I know he's not acting anymore. But I thought some kind of version of, like, a younger version of Bruce Willis or something like that would have shown up, at some point to, like, rebut him or something, and that's going to be the tie-in. Or, Samuel Jackson's character, or the thing from Split, James McAvoy's character. Any of these guys I thought were going to show up or interact with him, or there was going to be a cutscene at the end where he's introduced to that stuff, because he's obviously some kind of supernatural person, and he's able to, get out of stuff or whatever. So I thought that's what it was going to be, like, kind of like at the end of Split, but it wasn't. And I felt stupid for watching the movie, but I enjoyed my time. So let me know what you guys think down below about this movie, and this has been another useless skill.